Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Zoom at 8. My name is Julianne Peterson, and I am your host every Tuesday night for Zoom at 8. I'm also a loan officer for Old Capital Lending, and we have been doing Zoom at 8 for 5 years. I started this to help build your team, an ecosystem where you could find vendors, you could find investors, you could find people that can help you as a sponsor and being a lender who can provide the debt for you. So if you're looking at a deal and you're thinking, hey, I wonder if I should pay $5 million for this asset because it shows that I should be returning lots and lots of capital, but you really need to know what the loan is. That's when I step in. So I'm going to need your T12, your rent roll, your OM, if it's available. OM is an offering memorandum. And then your underwriting. And then we will take a look at it. It'll take us 48 hours and we'll turn back to you the exact proceeds that, based on those financials, how much we're going to bring to your transaction. So don't you want to know if you're putting a loan of only 50% at $5 million? That's not going to give you as much returns as opposed to 70, 80%. All right. So stop in at your lender. That's Julie at Old Capital. All right. So again, Zoom at 8. This is like a conference. You come here, you meet people, and you learn. We've got industry experts that come here 3 times out of the month, sorry. And they're going to make you smart. But on top of that, we have vendors who've been here with us for 5 years. And I want to introduce you so that you have a Rolodex. That's like a Palm Pilot or your iPod iPad that you use to put your contacts. You have the people that'll help you get these deals done. So listen, friends, tonight is going to be a mind blower if you have never worked on a portal, a software offering like Cash Flow Portal and all of the other tidbits that go with Cash Flow Portal. So Perry, who is the founder and CEO of Cash Flow Portal, it is a modern marketplace for real estate syndication investing. He was an engineer manager at Lyft. Wow. I've never met somebody from Lyft. So he's from Lyft. He was there for 5.5 years and then worked as a software engineer for Twitter, X, and Amazon. So we have a rock star here tonight. Perry is also a lead sponsor on over 1,000 apartment units, having raised $25 million for real estate projects and generated 30% plus, so over 30% annualized returns for investors. So again, we've got an amazing guy here tonight. It's not his first time, it's not his second time, but backed by popular demand, we've got Perry here. He's also founded, and he's going to be sharing with us, a separate company called Pallas. And this is going to blow you away. So I want everybody to understand what is a portal, how you can use it to build your business, and then to get more business, to find deals as an investor and as a general partner. And then what do you do with that information? All right. And how you can share that with your investors. It is amazing. Tonight is going to make you really, really smart. So if you would, everybody would go up to the left side or right side of your screen and look at, it says view, go to speaker view. And you're going to see me because I'm the speaker right now. I want to introduce to you Perry Zheng with Cash Flow Portal. Perry, good evening. How are you?
Hi, Judy. It's so nice to be here. It's so energetic as usual, like last year.
I am just so thrilled. And you have made some incredible changes in additions, I should say, not changes, but additions that I'm really excited for you to introduce our folks here. And as you saw, we've got, about 7 or 8 in the room that have portals, and I'm
Hmm.
hoping that they're all cash flow portal
Hmm.
supporters. But
Hmm.
if they're not, this is a great opportunity to show them why they shouldn't be,
Awesome.
or why they should be and they shouldn't be on the other ones. All right. Or we've got new folks that really need to understand it. So a high level understanding of what that looks like. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Give us a quick demo. We're here for a while, so let's see the magic.
Yeah, let me share my screen.
You're
So,
in.
Julie gave a quick intro. Um, I started syndicating in 2019. Our very first deal was a 172 unit apartment complex, and I was the lead sponsor on it. And I raised 3.5 out of the $4.3 million on that one. And that was the experience that taught me why we need a portal. So there were 70 investors, $60,000 each. I sent them DocuSign for every single signature. I countersign it. I sent them wire instructions to wire the money. I'm till this day, I'm grateful they send the money, knowing that it's going somewhere. I send them another email saying, I got your money. All of their social security, bank account, address is in my Google spreadsheet. And every time when they want to change that address, they have to send me an email or call me or text me. So I'll change it on my Google spreadsheet. I was
Mhm.
living in two worlds. On one hand, I was an engineering manager. On the other hand, I am a real estate general partner. And so I always thought about combining those two worlds. The following year, we did a 408 unit apartment complex, and we used a very large syndication software. Then the following year, I did a 236 unit apartment, also as a lead sponsor. And that time, I used my own software because we were developing it for about a couple of years at that point. At that time, I was still at Lyft, so I couldn't disclose I owned the company. So my investors, however, was saying that whatever using this year was better than last year's. And so that was the impetus for me to quit my job. We applied to a incubator program in Silicon Valley called Y Combinator. We were very lucky to get in. And then fast forward to today, we are about 30 people. We managing about 5 billion of equity, so about 15, $20 billion of assets on behalf of the GPs and their investors, 40,000 LPs, and then about 700 general partners on the platform today. Some of our biggest customers include Neobawa, Good Egg, Break of Day, Granite Towers. A lot of those folks actually also use O Capital for lending and so on. So it's a small circle of just friends that just they're still doing business till this day.
Excellent. Perry, I love that you are a user, but more importantly, for the people that don't realize the fact that Perry is in real estate in multifamily gives him an advantage to other companies out there whereby they don't necessarily understand. They can get the idea, but Perry is using this every day in his business. And so is able to, hear what's happening with investors and take control and make those changes. So really advantageous that Perry's at the helm on this.
Absolutely. So we are a multi-product company, so there's a lot to cover. I'm not going to cover all of them, but I'll give a brief overview of what each thing does and why that's important. To Julie's point, I am a customer of my own software. I just did a distribution last night, and it took me about 2 minutes to do that distribution. So there we go. Um, and so we put the GP as the front and center. That's our customer. So what does a GP need? GP needs vendors. They need to find brokers. They need to find investors. They need to find deals. They need a system to streamline their backend. So we started off with the investor portal. Um, as mentioned, when you're trying to raise money from tens of hundreds of people, there is a lot of work to keep track of document signing, distributions, waterfalls, K1s, monthly updates, etc. And so that is a system that will really streamline your business. Okay. The second part is once investor portal doesn't really come in until you have a deal, right? So what you want is also a CRM that can start nurturing some of these LPs. If you have a website, you can integrate this lead capture form, almost like a landing page on your website. So some of the prospective LPs can put in their email address, phone number for a free ebook or for a webinar that you created, and then boom, you get their contact information in exchange, right? So there are lots of CRMs in the world. One of the benefits of having a CRM that's integrated with the investor portal is, we'll show you in a second, but imagine that you have a close date, right? Say you have a close date. I'm not gonna close on this date. We can actually work backwards with the drip campaign that say, because you're closing on this date, that means all the money needs to be in by this date and so on. So at each trigger, they will send out the emails automatically to those investors to make sure they fund their money on time. Okay.
So those templates come with this software, you guys. So it's not something that you need to develop. Of course, you want to personalize it, but those are already set, and that is an advantage. Keep going.
Yeah. Absolutely. I earlier, in this call, I heard a lot of folks talking about, we are working on our first deal, and you're right. On the first deal, underwriting is actually the thing that you do the most. So what's the biggest problem with underwriting is it is a lot of work to parse the RENRO and the T12s, right? We have actually a Google Drive, my business partner and I have stopped being a GP to focus on the business, but my real estate business partner continued to underwrite deals every single day. He joked that he probably underwrote like 80% of the deals in Dallas, Texas. So every deal that ever came online, he probably underwrote it. But the hardest thing is to figure out what's the median rent, what's the market rent, what's the pro forma rent, and plug in all the expense numbers from the operating memorandum, right? So, but we created AI tool that allow you to parse these things, and I would love to show a demo toward the end on that one.
So let me just make sure I hear this correctly and everybody in the room. What you're saying is you can underwrite the deal in this software program that's going to take your hour that you're investing or your 2 hours of inputting it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to give us it back in minutes so we can. Now, my question to you is the data that is brought in from the local area, are you using that, or the information that you've collected from other deals?
Yeah,
Do you
great
take
question.
advantage of that?
Yeah, great question. So we are not taking advantage of that yet because we are right now developing the tool for you to be able to parse it. But that data can be used in conjunction with other data. So when more people use it, we do end up getting a lot of data, and we will anonymize the data, and we will map it to a specific zip code and a specific unit type and so on and so forth. And over time, we will have a ton of data. And it's one of those business models where a great business is taking a little bit from each customer, but in exchange, they get this unified analytics back to the customer as value. And so that will come in about a couple of years once a lot of people start using underwriting tool, and it's no longer just a way to streamline your life, but to also get insights on what is a 2-bedroom with a pool in Dallas, Texas renting for.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
keep going.
All right, so
Fantastic.
that's a lot of talking. I would love to go into the demo, but I will briefly mention about Pallas, which is a marketplace for LPs to look for GPs and deals. You as a upcoming GP or a existing GP, the value to you is that you can actually find LPs there. They're all accredited, and you can also find other GPs that you might be raising money for, whether they're operators Or if you're an operator, then you use Pallas to look for co-sponsors or fund of fund managers, right? Now, how how is it that we want to create this? We want to create this again. We want to be an all-in-one solution for alternative investing. We want to be the Microsoft of investing, and we want to create this ecosystem. Each part of those things, I need it as a customer, right? I wish I had a way to underwrite easily. I wish I had a way to find good co-sponsors that can join on my deal, especially when equity raising is difficult, right? And this last thing about banking, I now every single deal, multifamily deal or not, they say you put down $8 million for a $20 million apartment complex. You have about $1 million of capital expenditure. You're not using that $1 million over the course of a year. You're probably planning it for the next 2 years, planning upgrading all the units. But until the units are upgraded, you are that money is sitting in the bank accruing 0% interest rate. And we would like to change that by saying your undeployed capital now can accrue, 4 to 5% interest rate at rest. Yeah. So all of these things we believe are values for the LPs, for the GPs. And then we don't have time to go through all the demos, but I will show you a couple things. So I'll definitely show the CRM. I'll give a quick walkthrough of underwriting because a lot of you probably will love underwriting. And please ask questions. I want to make this super interactive. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. All right. So let's talk about CRM because a lot of you, if you don't have a website, or if you have a website and you are planning on using a CRM, it is totally a good idea to use Casual Portal as your default CRM. So here's what we provide. First, you go to contacts and you can have one of this lead capture forms. Okay. So let me click into it. You put this thing called free ebook on your website. Okay. And then this is what it looks like, right? Discover how to invest in multifamily, da da da. And then this is what you learn. Follow me on social media. Beautiful. Okay. I'm gonna review it. This is what it looks like. Settings. I'm gonna take this URL and then you can put it as an iframe. Like, look at this. Beautiful, right? It's just embedded on your website. And I'm going to do this, Perry plus Judy at casualportal.com. And then gonna do Judy. Okay. And then here. And then 1 second. Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
And then do some number. And then Zoom 8. Okay. Go ahead and submit it. Bingo. Now they have submitted with your logo on it, so on and so forth. Okay. So now I'm going to go to my contacts. And then there we go. Judy just added to my contact today. And the tag got added, free ebook, right? So click on it. Okay. So I know all this happening. While this is happening, Judy gets a free ebook. So let me actually move this ebook to show you. Da-da-da-da. This is the email that got sent to Perry plus Judy at casualportal.com. You see right here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the ebook. Isn't that cool? You got their contact exchange. They get a free ebook from you. Now, remember, this thing can be embedded on your website and so on and so forth, right? So at this point, I'm going to, okay, Judy just got added to me, and I'm going to add a note. Judy is awesome, and then I'm going to set a date. I'm going to follow up with them maybe next week, and then go ahead and save it. I add myself a reminder. I can also go to the referral and say, hey, Judy is referred by so and so and so on. Let me just say referral is by this person, and then the date is maybe earlier, and bingo. And so I have this. So you can keep track of all your referrals. Okay. So that's you add a tag, you add the sender notes, you can send them automatic emails. You have a lead capture form that's embedded with your website. Then here's what you can do. You can put them into a beautiful drip campaign, right? This drip campaign saying, I send this email on this date, then wait 7 more days, send them 1 more email, say, hey, what are our goals for 2024? Wait 30 more days, send them like, did you know you can invest with IRA accounts? What is this? This is a way to nurture your LPs, right? Nurture your LPs. Now, we are a CRM that's specific to real estate syndication. Okay, we're not a regular CRM, right? So if you scroll down here, we have all these email templates that you can use. And there was a question about, is this free or not? It's actually 100% free. Like what I just did was actually free. I'll get into the paid version in quickly. So all this template come with a free account. At the bottom, once you have a deal, you can say, I need to send them a series of emails. I have a deal under contract, due diligence completed, webinar reminder, subscription now is open, refer your friends, 80% subscribe, and then deal close. All of this is coming from other GPs, or in this case, our customers, that these are the types of templates that you will write when you have a deal under contract. The difference is that if you use a typical CRM, you have to recreate this from scratch because it's generic. It's a horizontal product. We are a CRM just for real estate syndicators. You see what I'm saying? Right? So you can send however many emails you want to them and so on. All right. So let me pause there for any questions on the CRM.
Can you add new templates of your own?
Absolutely. Once you create a template, so I'm gonna create it. Let's say, oh, let me show you this. This is awesome. So the answer is absolutely you can add your own template. So this is a monthly update template. Okay. You can say if I change anything and you want to save this as a template, you just go ahead and save it as a new template. But here's the cool thing. So I'm gonna show you all the little things I personally find very like proud that we did this. On a monthly basis, once you have the deal closed, you have to send monthly updates with the financials, the occupancy rate, total income, and so on, right? You can embed a video as well. But we have this idea of you can enter your key performance indicators, meaning the metrics about your syndication, and you can enter a chart automatically. So for example, I'm gonna enter my total income and my total income budgeted right here. And these are the dates I want them. And then insert this chart. And then voila, this chart gets automatically generated. This is what and most people's monthly updates look like. Furthermore, because we have your KPIs, key performance indicators, you can just say, you know what, AI, why don't you just write me the paragraph for about the financials for last month, and then it will write the financials for that month. Okay, using the numbers that you have generated. Okay, so there's that. So for example, these numbers are actually coming from the KPIs that you have entered. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we can reduce the time that you spend, maybe about 30 minutes to an hour writing those monthly updates down to say 5 minutes. You can still edit it, but at least we wrote the first version for you. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, that's excellent. So, Paula wanted to know, does your program have the ability to stress test their 5-year assumptions in key areas, such as cap rate, effective rate, rents, loss to lease, crime, interest rate?
That's a great question, Paula. So that is part of the underwriting, and the answer is that is not currently done because there's a lot of plumbing, but that's 100% on the roadmap. That's correct. What you want is a stress test, a sensitivity analysis. Most things like if the economic vacancy drops to this amount, what will happen? What's the cash and cash? What's the LP returns and so on? Right now, we're not there yet. We are working on just the parsing and the normal underwriting.
Got it.
You can also
Now,
imagine you want to do, say, a refinance on the third year or the second year. What will the returns change as a result of that? That's also a version 2 of the underwriting, which I will show you. But even the first version, I think is already really, really awesome. Okay.
so in using that, and we'll get to that tonight, but you would be using your own underwriting model, right? Is it a cash flow underwriting model, or can you use, any of the other ones that are available on the
Yeah.
market?
Absolutely. So let's go back to this deck here. Um, Seems like a lot of people are very excited about underwriting, so I'll do that demo next. To answer your question, you can do both. You can use Casual Portal's underwriting software, or you can just use our underwriting for the purpose of parsing the rent roll and the T12, and you can copy that into your own spreadsheet. You can do both. So let me show
Got it.
you. Okay.
Okay, before you do that, on when we go back to the CRM, can you segregate the lead lists into different categories? So you would have a vendor list, you'd have your maybe your people that are looking, your investors that are 50,000 who are 100,000. How do you do that? Or do
The,
you have that?
the way we do that is based on tags. So with the
Okay.
Julie here, you can come in that say, hey, I want to add these tags and so on. And that's how most CRMs do it.
Yeah.
Now with the lead capture form, you can do it this way. So here's a free ebook, right? There are a lot of settings. So what we're saying is everyone that fill out this ebook, they will get a tag called the free ebook capture. Imagine that I'm going to clone this lead capture form and I have a webinar coming up. And for that, folks, I'm going to add the tag that webinar attendees. Maybe you go to a conference and those conference has a different tag and so on. So tags is a free form for you to organize your investors.
Yeah.
For some folks, you can have a tag called vendors and so on and so forth. So there's that.
Great. And you're using generative AI on
Yes.
this?
So
Okay.
that this email the AI summary we are using ChatGPT behind the scenes. A little bit of interesting tidbit. So we are backed by Y Combinator, and Sam Altman was actually the president of Y Combinator. And then he decided to quit YC and then started OpenAI. So as Y Combinator back startups, we actually have a ton of credit with with ChatGPT. So there's that. Mhm.
Isn't, and real quickly, isn't ChatGPT that they only have information till 21? Has that been updated?
I think so. It's only up until 21, right? Correct.
Yeah,
In this case, they are not using external information, but only using the numbers that you input.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. Mhm.
All right. Anything before we go from our CRM? Now, one of the questions that I have as a person who has lots and lots of conversations and is building a lot of relationships, can I take my information with me from one CRM to the next? Tell me
Yeah,
about that.
Yeah, so good question. So we take the stance that data belongs to the GP. Data does not belong to Cashier Portal. So what that means is that if they sign up, this is the same applies to Cashier Portal, underwriting, CRM, and everything we do, which is say a customer decided to say, oh, I'm gonna leave and I found better CRM and so on. You can 100% export it and then you can re-upload it on your own CRM. We even give like a pretty long retention. Now, I will take a moment and say one of the best statistics in our case is that we have 700 GPs. And till this day on Cashier Portal, we still have 0% churn to any competitor. So that hasn't happened yet. Nobody say, hey, I'm gonna take this thing and go somewhere. But if they do, we wish them good luck and they can download it and the data and then we also don't do the following, which is something I don't like when other portals or other like any business do this, which is your expiration date is say May 1st or June 1st, and they say your data will be lost on June 1st. What is the
Oh,
right thing to do is, okay, your expiration is June 1st. You have data until July 1st. You have a month to export your data. So we adopt a similar mindset there. But so far, nobody has used it.
or you could be with Calendly, or you could go with something on Apple that they just charge your account and then you're stuck there for another year. So thank you. That's fantastic. Really great policy.
Yeah, right.
Um, you know,
They
the
ask, yeah,
the
go ahead.
question is this whole portal can be used for capital raising on so many levels, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of you actually may not have seen the cash flow portal itself, which is the bread and butter is the LP experience. We just have a lot of products and we don't have as much time. So I actually want to focus on the things that might be immediately relevant to the people who are not currently raising for a deal yet. So CRM is immediately relevant because you don't need a deal to use cash flow portal. And then underwriting is also something that can be immediately relevant. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So, but if you folks want to get a demo with Casual Portal, like the investor portal, um, uh, the best way to do this, in which I will show it at the end as well, which is you can take a just go use this QR code, and then there is a way to book a demo with the team to go through Casual Portal itself, right? Yeah,
Perfect.
so I'll wait
Great.
there. All right, so let's talk about underwriting. Underwriting, just to be clear, underwriting is a newer feature. So it is something that we are really, really excited about, but I'll give you a peek of what it does. All right, so let's go to underwriting. So this is I have blank list of underwritings now, and let me just underwrite a deal in less than 5 minutes. All right, so click on add underwriting. This is my own deal. So North Haven Terrace, and then I'll just do zoom at 8. Okay, here.
Mhm.
And then it's 32 million. And then this is country is USA. It's located in 2800 Jersey Circle. So populated, built in 1968. And then this is a demo. I'm gonna submit this underwriting. Cool. So over here, I click into that and then 32 and nothing else is filled out. So I'm gonna find the rent roll. So I'm gonna find the rent roll. Where am I gonna find it? So here, I'm gonna go to the rent roll repository, go to Resman. I'm gonna find this underwriting. So zoom at 8.
So
Yeah.
this is something that you put on your in your Google Drive that
Yeah.
you've received from the broker, everybody, and then you're going to put it into the underwriting tool here. Good.
Bingo. Yeah. So there's something you sign up on the email. This is a real email. Okay. So I'm gonna upload this rent roll and then I am gonna find it. Zoom at 8. Bingo. I find it. It automatically detects that this is Resman. Do I want to create a unit mix? Yes. Upload it. Bingo. The whole rent roll at this point got uploaded. If I click into it, it parsed the minimum rents for this unit, maximum, average, 25, median, 75 percentile for this unit. If I click on the units, I will see that 0118 is vacant. Let's take a look if it's vacant. 0118, the very first thing. Bingo, that it is indeed vacant. 033E is renting for 1262. 3E was 3E, 1262. Bingo. Okay. So the rent roll at this point is parsed, right? So some information starts showing. Well, it's 45% IRR because I haven't put in my expenses here. But
So
the
I'm gonna slow you down for just a minute. If the rent roll is not in Resman, but it's in somebody that put it on a back of a napkin, can you create it from that information and then just put it in your Google Drive or whatever drive, and you'll bring it in and it'll show up, right?
Yeah, good question. So what do we parse? We parse rent rolls that are by of a certain format, meaning we can parse rent rolls. They're coming from Resman, Yardi, Appfolio, and Trada, and then there are other and then also RealPage. So these are the biggest property management softwares out there. So that's the first version. The second version is that we can parse if it's in a PDF. Now, our research has been that with large multifamilies, 60 units or plus, more and more people do have a spreadsheet version of that rent roll. And if you don't, just ask. They will give it to you. Sometimes they're not giving it to you more because that they want you to ask and because they want you to be serious. Now, there will come a time in which, yes, we can parse the PDF. And in fact, that is what we're working on over the summer. This summer, we have 8 interns coming. 4 from CMU, 3 from MIT, and 1 from Stanford. Their only mission is to use actual machine learning to parse PDFs. But this is not yet here. It's only parsing Excel spreadsheets now. And they have to be of a certain property management software format. Which is already powerful because I will say those property management softwares owned about like 90% of the multifamilies out there. So you should be fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, that's right. Great. Cool. Okay, so that is the unit mix. Now, you folks ask a question, I'm using Michael Blanc spreadsheet or I'm using, like the deal analyzer or whatnot. can I just use my own spreadsheet, but only use you, Perry, for the parsing part? Yes, you can. And this is how it works. You see, we parse the unit mix and we find the rent and the pro forma rent. Now, obviously, you can change this pro forma rent if you want to. You can do is you copy this rent into a clipboard. And what it does is that it copy this column to your clipboard. And if you want to paste it into your own spreadsheet, go for it. And then you can just go on with your day. Right. Yeah. So cool. So yeah, if I get a T2, I ask the broker, there are reasons for this. Exactly. Thank you, Paula, for saying that. Usually they will give it to you in spreadsheet. Yes. Yeah. Bingo. So okay. So yes. So to answer people's question, if you want to use your own spreadsheet, you can actually absolutely do that by saying that all we do is help you parse this red row. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the next part. So with every underwriting, there are some closing costs, right? Let's see the origination fee, let's say 0.5% of the original. So I can do 0.5 of the loan amount. The buyer broker fee may be 1% of the sell price. This is a lot, but I'm just giving this as an example and so on and so forth. And then I'm going to save it. So that's my closing fee. So you can add more items if you want for the closing. For the capital expenditure, you can say, well, I'm doing $7,000 per unit, and I'm going to renovate 200 units, and I'm going to spend about $500,000 on roof repairs, as example. Okay, so I'm going to add that. For the expenses, you see right here, the unfinanced rehab is 1.9 million, and I'm saying $1 million of that is finance. The other 900K is unfinanced, for a total of $1.9 million of rehab. I have the interest rate as 5.5 here, but you can change it to 6.5. This is my own property, so I can show the rent roll and so on. So that's not sensitive information. Technically, our interest rate is less than 5.5. So there's that. Okay.
I have a
So
question on
yeah.
the CapEx budget. Can you then send that document to your lender to show them all the breakdown of CapEx?
Oh my God. This is awesome. So, Julie, great question. This is amazing. So you can see the power of having underwriting as a software. Because what are the next versions? One version is I'm gonna have a button that says export business plan. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
The other thing I can say, write my LOI, generate my LOI automatically. Okay. The third thing is, remember we just showed the email that can show ChatGPT using the KPIs and create those, emails. We are going to have a button. I hope that get this done by the summer, that can write your pitch deck, your webinar deck automatically, because we know your business plan. Your job is to upgrade 200 of those units, and then you're gonna do the washing machine and dishwasher and so on. There's no reason that we cannot write your emails and your pitch deck and your script almost like at least the first version for you. That's the future we want to go for. And
That
so
is unbelievable.
yeah. So right now you just see all the plumbing. Yeah. But it give us another maybe a year, maybe next year during this time, I will show you what that pitch deck gets written automatically. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. But yes, you are on the right track, which is I have all this data now. How can I create something awesome out of it? That's why you can keep using your spreadsheet for the parsing. But we believe that the better way is to actually use the software because it will get better and better. Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Cool. All right. Cool. Yes. And then that's right. And then you should absolutely know your market. All right. So let's go to finance. Okay. T12. All right. So right now the IRR is too high because if you look at the income, we don't have actually there's no expenses added. Okay. If you look at expenses, you can see right now everything is zero, right? T12 is zero, pro forma is zero. So that's why my IRR is really high. So the next thing you want to do is upload your T12. So let me go back to here. Let me go to underwriting. Oops. Cool. Let me go into T12. Resman. Bingo. And then I'm going to do this one. I'm going to say zoom at 8. There we go. I'm going to open this one up. And then I'm going to save this thing as well. And I'm going to upload the T12. All right, T12. Zoom at 8, T12. Bingo. Okay. This is Zuma AT12. Safe. Cool. I just parsed the T12. And then I'm gonna go to income. So voila, the income gets populated. So you can see this September 2022 is 267,993. So what is the T12 for that? December 2022, right here, net rental income, 267,993.3. We round it to the nearest dollar. Okay. So this is my T12. And then this is my other income. You can see the trash revenue should be 35,000. If I look at here, the trash revenue, where is my trash revenue? Trash revenue is 35,000 right there, right? So you can see this is in some ways, this is a lifesaver. Like before, you have to put all of this 233 on your other income, right? Check
A
this out.
lifesaver. This is revolutionary. This thing is mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So here you can see the expenses are also parsed. Right. Now let's look at the expenses. This is actually very interesting. Administrative costs. My T12 is saying administrative costs. And then this is 27,227. So admin costs. And then why does it say 3,200? Because it added this admin cost and it also added legal fees and then added one more thing down here. But contract services is 18,000 and it is indeed 18,000. So you might say, Perry, what's going on here? You have a predefined set of expense categories. Your T12 might be all over the place. We also use ChatGPT to say, if these were the predefined expense categories, and this is my T12, can you categorize some of these things onto my predefined expense category? For example, legal and professional does not appear in any of these predefined categories. But ChatGPT knows that I can add this thing to my admin costs because that's part of my admin/miscellaneous. That's why this will not be possible without ChatGPT that happened a year ago. Does that make sense?
Amazing. Yes.
So now, and I'm gonna save this. Okay. So at this point, the IRR is correct at 14%, 87%. And these are after the GP/LP splits. Okay. So that's really good.
Can you change that to a interest rate of 7?
Yes. And
so
let me
just so we can show everybody.
Exactly. So this is my deal. Okay. I bought this at a Texas is a non-disclosure state, But yes, we actually had a 4.55% interest rate. So let me show you 4.55,
okay.
92% return. This is after all splits. But we had a 10-year fixed interest rate. If we had a bridge loan, okay, and it's 7.7% interest rate, well, too bad. In that case, we are screwed. So the cash flow, you can see the cash and cash becomes 2.27. 2.29, going from like 7%, 6% cash and cash. Then the return is still high because if you look at the modeling, our reversion cap rate is 5%. But if you change that to 7%, we are screwed. Yeah, we're looking at negative.
It's done.
Yes, that's
Time
right.
to sell.
Yeah. Well, yes. So this is awesome, right? So like when you underwrite it this way, I feel actually like I feel pretty good. I know how to use it, and it's the data is showing you, yes, yeah, like we just got lucky with the fixed interest rate.
So let's just unpack this for just a second. So those of you, you still need to understand how to underwrite. Okay, you're going to get all this information put in there, but you're also going to need to make some assumptions. How much is the insurance going to be? How much are the taxes? How much is property management? So this just lines it up, right? And so you're going to go back in there and you're going to say, well, if I buy this, the insurance is going from $500 a door to $1,800 a door. So can you show us real quickly how you would do that?
Yeah, so here, based on this T12 expenses, we are keeping all the T12 and the insurance the same. But for example, the property tax instead of 7, let's say not is this one, insurance, if it's 188,000, for whatever reason, you say instead of per unit, I'm gonna do say $1,200 per unit, which is insane amount. Okay, you see, this is pretty cool. You can
not in Florida.
right? That's 249. And then the return is going to become negative
There
10.
you go. So this is what we want to see as a lender. We want to be able to see, okay, have you looked at the increase in some of these line items to make sure that you're underwriting it properly so that when the lender looks at it, the numbers are valuable, right?
Mhm.
They're real.
That's
Okay.
right.
So
Mhm.
this is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Really
So
great.
the reason we want to create this is we believe underwriting is the first thing that all GPs do, and good underwriting, good numbers actually mean a lot. Like I personally believe that your the property is the product. If you have a good product, investors should come. Now, obviously, that's easier to say than done, but
Mm.
the primary objective is to have a good product and then focus, and then do the investors. Um, yeah.
So Perry, can you do
Mhm.
you don't have to show us, but
Yeah.
GP and LP splits
Yes.
and some of the hurdles
So
in this
here
underwriting?
on the underwriting, you have the 80-20 split and then the
Mhm.
2% asset management fee. You might notice that on the underwriting, the split right now is pretty primitive. On Casual Portal, the split can be very, very advanced. And so we have not put that advanced waterfall onto the underwriting portion. But I know I'm jumping a little bit here, but for like I technically did not do Casual Portal itself justice. Just to be clear, that's actually our most mature product. It's just that
Mhm.
I'm more excited about the new stuff. So to answer question on the not on the underwriting, just on Casual Portal itself, we 100% support the waterfall. So in this example, you can see the way you read this is 100% to the LP, 0 to the GP until they achieve an 8% cash and cash. Then it becomes a 70-30 split until they achieve a
Mm.
15% IRR. Thereafter, it's a 50-50 split. Our
And
goal is to be able to put this into underwriting. And I will also say this, there are not that many spreadsheet softwares that can do this level of GPLP split in their software, right? Not that many. Most of them are using a very primitive split. But because it's built by software, we can actually do this quite easily, if that makes sense. Yeah.
amazing. And you know what I love about it is that you're doing your distributions based on
Yeah.
those what would you call it, automations basically, and it configures it and boom, you're not sitting there with your CPA or your accountant trying to figure numbers. It simply is you've got the data, you've got the information, and it spews out the distributions. How amazing is that?
Mhm. Yeah. Let's try to get some questions here. I know there are a lot of good questions here. One of the common question is, are there training videos for all the functionalities? So Manu, thank you so much for that question. The best way, let me just go here. The best way is to schedule a call, and then we will walk you through it, our support team. Do note that, again, Casual Portal is our bread and butter. Underwriting is coming up, and it will be launched sometime this weekend or next week. If you run into problems with underwriting, I will say it will parse majority of the spreadsheets out there. But if it doesn't parse it, we actually get a notification and we will be actively working on it. How do we make this work? How do we make this work? And so on. And we'll send you an email saying, hey, we're looking into it. So give it some patience when you use the underwriting, because it's still definitely a work in progress. Okay.
So
And then,
K1 generation, is that
yeah.
something that can be done just with the software?
Good question.
Yeah.
So your CPA, you still need a CPA. The CPA, so the way to think about Casual Portal is the following. It's a hub. Okay. We're in the middle. Okay.
Mm.
And then all the other vendors interact with the hub. That means the fund admin, CPA, asset manager, legal counsel, property manager interact with the hub. The CPA will download data, including your cap table and all the distributions you have made. The CPA will obviously get your T12 and rent roll and so on if they need to. Okay. And the CPA will create the K1s out of them. Casual Portal does not create the K1s. Once the K1s are created by the CPA, then the K1s will be uploaded back into Cashier Portal for investors to peruse. Who
Fantastic.
can upload them? The GPs can, the CPA can, and we automatically map each K1 to the appropriate investor. Like we look at their EIM and we automatically map it correctly. So the whole uploading of K1s takes about less than 5 minutes.
Amazing. I've done it myself. It takes a while on some other platforms.
That's right.
Are there training videos that are available for the functionality once somebody uses these?
Yeah. So once you sign up, by the way, it's 100% free to sign up. Okay. So let me
Let's reiterate that. It's 100% free. Who
yeah.
does that?
Yeah.
All right, let's get that going, you guys.
Yeah. So 100% free to sign up. Once you sign up, you can play with the software and so on and so forth. And then you can go to support. And so support has all kinds of videos. Okay. And then within some of these support, you can actually say, I'm going to, like, how do I create a deal? How do I set up my waterfall? Da, da, da. And some of them actually has very interesting Loom videos. And like right here, click here to view a demo as example. There it is, how to do a ACH distribution. Yeah. So,
all right, I do have some questions and we're going to run out of time here. So, can you order each offering? Can you order each offering? Somebody had asked that. I'm not sure what that meant.
Yeah, good question. So I think the question is more like on pricing. Okay, so let me talk about pricing for a second.
Got it. Yes.
So there are, again, go back to here, we are a multi-product company and we have these offerings. Okay. So investor portal is one offering. CRM is another offering. Okay. The investor portal pricing works as follows. We only care about how much money you plan to raise. If you're raising 1 million, then it's 149. If you're raising a total across all your deals in Cashier Portal, this is just not just one deal, all your deals, 2 million, that is 199. 3 million, 231. Let's say you raise 5 million, about $300. 10 million, $400, or $450. So it scales sublinearly the more you raise. Each incremental million becomes less and less. Okay. Also, by corollary, because we only care about funds under management, if you're raising zero, meaning that you're going to sign up, play with the software, well, it is free because we really believe the software is easy to use enough that you can just create an account yourself and play with it and so on and so forth. There's a lot of gems to be discovered once you sign up. Okay. So a lot of people feel that this is a very adaptable and scalable pricing model, such that even if they're raising their first million, it's only 149, as opposed to maybe other software that say, well, if you want to get started with us, it's $650 per month minimum, regardless how much you're raising. In fact, that was the single reason I started the company, because at the time, the way we were looking at the software, and they were like, it's $1,000 per month, up to 5 deals. But if you're doing your very first syndication, it's still $1,000 per month.
It's crazy.
Right.
All right. So can you do the Pallas
Yeah.
only? Can you do just the CRM, or
Yeah.
what goes with, where does Pallas sit in there?
Yeah, that's right. So investor portal is a price. CRM is another price. So the free version of the CRM, you can do lead capture form, you can do email analytics and so on. And then you do have to pay the $39 per month for the drip campaigns. And this price might increase it for, I'm a very transparent person. This actually might increase to $49 per month. So there's that. So because we've been getting some really nice traction and we added a lot more features since then.
Well,
So
but if you're at Zoom at 8, you could get it for 39 right
I
now.
will be happy to make that data. Yes, absolutely. Also, the other thing about Cashier Portal, I will mention this. If you schedule a demo and you tell us that you come from Zoom at 8, you'll get 50% off on your first 3 months. So take that.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right. But how about the underwriting? Does that go with the
Underwriting is a separate one. There will be a new tab coming out in the next couple weeks. And the underwriting is charged as follows. It is a separate software, meaning that you can use investor portal without underwriting, and vice versa. You can use underwriting without investor portal. Okay. Underwriting is charged as follows. It is $149 per month per user for your very first user. And then if you want to add additional users of the same company, then it's $99 per month per user for additional users. Okay. And what it does is that it helps parse rent rolls, T12, and then in the future, you can also make it ROI automatically, create that email and so on. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then lastly, can you just do a real quick Pallas so that we can know that, or I need to get you back here and look at it, but let's just do a quick overview.
Let's do Pallas. Pallas is free. Okay. If you're a casual portal user, Pallas is 100% free. Yeah. Okay. The goal of Pallas is to help LPs connect with GPs and find deals. Okay. Pallas is named after Pallas Athena, which is the Greek goddess of wisdom and strength and independent thinking, which we believe are the traits of successful investors. What is Pallas trying to do? Pallas' mission is to celebrate and elevate good LPs. Okay? We call them Pallas investors. We provide a community for the LPs come together. They can look for deals, they can look for other LPs, and they can look for GPs. GPs are welcome as well. Okay. And so as an LP, I'll go on here and I can look for GPs and LPs. As example, these are favorites, these are responsive, most raised, all the GPs. There are hundreds of GPs in here. A lot of people actually, a lot of GPs actually raise quite a bit of money through Pallas. Note that it's a separate website, so your investors don't know about Pallas. We bring our own investors onto Pallas. Okay. Yeah. So Pallas is a platform for LPs to find GPs and share info. Bingo. That's it. So
but you could also, if you're a GP on a deal and you need some more money for your net worth or your liquidity from a lender standpoint, you could use somebody in this network as well.
Yeah, that's right. You can say, if you're a GP, it has this very cool functionality. Okay. It says, if I'm a GP, I can ask for people that can raise at least $1 million. Right. So I'm gonna check all these boxes. And they are co-sponsor or they are a fund of fund manager. Okay. So I'm gonna apply this. And then bingo, I see all the fund managers and the co-GPs that can raise money. Isn't that cool?
So let me ask you a question. These are all people that utilize your cash flow portal. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep.
And so you can see their business in cash flow portal, or how does somebody vet another person on Pallas?
Yeah, good question. So let's come in here. Let's say let's remove the filter. So let me actually remove some of these filters. Okay. Not the co-sponsors. Let me click into this. And let's take one of them. Let's take Granite Towers as example. Okay. And then so Granite Towers, $315 million assets under management. As a GP, I can see they can raise $4 to $5 million. And then these are the 18 deals. Okay. Some of these have gone full cycle. This deal that have gone full cycle is a 3.4x multiple at 48% IRR. Amazing. Congrats to them. This deal, 3x multiple, 65% IRR. This one, a little bit less, 1.1, 7.6% IRR, because it's about 2 years.
But it's not only that, it's because you have the financials in the portal, you guys. And so this is accurate information. This is not somebody blowing smoke up your skirt to say, the actual was not 75%. It was like 150. Now, I know that because of the data that's available through using Cashflow Portal. It's terrific.
Yeah. The reason that Pallas will work is that this 3.4x is verified.
That's
because
right.
they did distributions through Cashflow Portal. All right. So in the future, we will put we'll put some kind of badge next to the things. They're like, yeah, we verified it. Not verified it in a legal compliant way, but verified it in the sense that at least they did distributions through it. Now, obviously, they can still lie by doing random distributions, but who's taking the time to do that? Right. So
Right. Now listen, Perry, there's been a request, it's a private request, so we won't say who it was, but it was more than one person that wants you to come back and talk about Pallas. Is
okay.
that something you'd be willing to do?
100%. Yes. I think
Okay.
here's what I will say. A lot of people ask me, okay, so let me put this back on here, right here. So
Mm-hmm.
we started the company. Well, I started a company to help myself with my own problem because of spreadsheets and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And we came to a point in which we felt that there's actually a lot of technology not being developed for alternative investing and commercial real estate. And we believe, personally, I believe that Cashflow Portal is a great tool to streamline your back office, but Pallas can fundamentally change the landscape of alternative investing. Because think of it as you have the stock market, right, where you kind of know everything. Uh, but it's really large and it's dominated by big players. Alternative investing is fundamentally fragmented. Information is sparse. Everyone says they are good GP.
Mm-hmm.
In order to change the industry, you almost have to create a Amazon for alternative investing, where someone can go on there and shop for deals, look at the reviews, and so on and so forth. That's where we're going. And in order to do that, it has to be a separate website because, again, the other tenet that we said is on Cashflow Portal, your LPs belong to you. We don't touch your LPs. We don't message them. We don't do anything about them. They belong to you. On Pallas, we bring our own LPs to it. And that's why Pallas is still a growing community. But our goal is that once the LPs feel like, oh, this is a really transparent website for me to shop, equity raising will actually become much easier. The best GPs will have no trouble raising money. For example, so some of the good GPs that I recommend them, refer them, or other people refer them, they actually got like a free $200,000, $300,000 investment out of Pallas. Absolutely. So that's what I'm most excited about. That Cashflow Portal is a good product. It's a great product, but Pallas can fundamentally change the landscape.
Amazing. All right. Anybody in the house that has any questions? We're going to do it quickly because we have to get out into our networking. We're going to have to do a real quick networking. Jason, do you have any questions?
Me?
Yep.
No, it's fantastic. I'm actually
Amazing, right?
considering changing platform. So
Oh,
nice
There you
wow.
go.
job.
Nice.
We're
Yeah, very nice job.
changing lives right here.
Nice job.
All right.
Yes,
Let's see. Jeannie has a question.
So as I understand Pallas, the my LP investors can look at all of my GP competition, and next go round they will pick another GP.
Great question. So
Mhm.
the Cashflow Portal is a separate website. Your LPs will go on Cashflow Portal and they will do not know that there exists a Pallas website. So Cashflow Portal continue to be your white label investor portal. And we specifically said that on Cashflow Portal, there you cannot even find what's the Pallas, the name Pallas, anywhere on the website. So your LPs will never land in a situation where they're like, oh, let me invest into other GPs because they don't know that exists. Okay. You're on the other hand, Pallas, you as a GP can feature yourself on Pallas. Okay. So we made that distinction super clear. Okay. That's why Pallas and Cashflow Portal are two different websites with two different logos. They even look different. That's intentional. You
Mm.
Maybe another way of saying this is, CoStar and apartments.com, they're technically owned by the same company, but not many people know that. The tenants don't know that. Similarly, the LPs don't know that Pallas is actually owned by Cashflow Portal in the back.
Yeah, that's great. Cento, it's been a while.
Hey, Julie, nice to see a fellow 630 person.
Yeah.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Perry, thank you so much for your miracle software. I'm actually in IT myself, and I just had a roadmap question. In your roadmap for the generative AI, are you going to be able in the future with your line items and expenditures section be able to offer tax and cost segregation suggestions,
Ah, man.
idea input?
The short answer is that's a good question. Great question. I actually have not thought about that. So thank you for I thought about a lot of things, but actually not that one. So thank you for that. Yeah, we can chat more about it. I think one version is that there's a product next to Texas, and then there's a button say, hey, do you want to find a good segregation specialist? And then if the cost segregation specialist has an API, we can plug in, we can send the data to them, and they can give you a quote. But that's at least a year from now. What we're trying to do actually, the first step is we actually want to figure out the millage rate of a lot of the property tax stuff. That's our first tackle. And then the next one is how do you save on insurance? And then we can focus on like cost segregation. I know these terms because I'm a GP. I know exactly what those things mean.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mark Gross, I just found your secondary revenue channel right there. You're welcome.
There you go.
There we go.
I'll take 10%. I'll take 10%.
It all happened right here,
Yeah.
Zoom at 8. All right, you guys, listen. We're going to have Perry back because if you're not familiar with the cash flow portal, it is worth it to take some time. I also had Perry here a year ago, a little over a year ago, and we did a whole demo. So if you go into Julie Ann Peterson, Julie Ann, A-N-N-E Peterson, my YouTube channel has all of the videos. That's where you find all of the interviews. And Perry did last year, did a whole demo on it. Now things have changed and updated and stuff like that. And we'll have him come back and we'll go through that. But in the meantime, if this is something that you're looking to do, look at those videos or just take that QR code and set an interview with their folks, a meet and greet, and figure out, is this something that would be helpful for you? It's really worth the time.
Yeah, we take a lot of pride in our investor portal, but funnily this call we did not demonstrate any of the portal stuff. But it's a great software. It is what people know us for actually.
Absolutely, so wonderful. So, all right, listen, Perry, thank you again. You're always amazing. We'll get you back here. Appreciate your time.